Good morning, spiritual companions. Today we are reading God, the Substance of All Form by Joel S. Goldsmith. Chapter 4, Fulfillment of Consciousness. Heaven, the vision of fulfilled desire, and hell, the shadow from a soul on fire. Omar Khayyam. Everyone who has had the experience of a fulfilled life knows that it is heaven. Everyone who is doing the work he loves to do is in heaven. Heaven is the fulfillment of our own consciousness. Each one of us is in this world because of a divine plan. No one came here by accident. No one came merely through physical creation. All of us are part of a universal plan, and that plan is the fulfillment of God. It is not that any one of us, for some special reason, has been given an unfoldment of truth and an opportunity for study and practice, but that truth itself is fulfilling and expressing itself, and we are the transparency as which it appears to the world. Truth is fulfilling itself in some way through or as you, although that fulfillment may not be apparent at the moment. Certainly it is true that most of the people in the world are not fulfilling their destiny as God made manifest and love unfolded and disclosed. The human scene has seemed to cut us off from the divine, so we have accepted a separate identity and have tried to fulfill it. Whether or not we succeed in the outer realm will not determine our fulfillment of heaven. It is the fulfillment of the inner consciousness that is heaven, and it may fulfill itself as a businessman or as a professional man, but it is still consciousness fulfilling itself on the level of consciousness. Success in business of itself does not bear witness to the attainment of heaven. Many successful people are unhappy because they are not successful at the particular work which would be the fulfillment of their heart's desire. We have had the experience of studying truth in order to get a healing or to demonstrate supply or success, and then have come to the place where we were not satisfied. We may have attained our health or prosperity or success, but still we were not happy. Why? Because those things of themselves are not fulfillment. Therefore, to us, the preliminary purpose of life is following this path, the infinite way, which reveals the depth of our own consciousness. It is legitimate that we have joy, that we find joy, and be assured that joy will come to us when we are about the Father's business. When we do our work from the standpoint of allowing our inner capacity to be outwardly manifested, we are truly about the Father's business, and we find our joy. When work is performed merely to earn a livelihood or to make a reputation or fortune, the joy is not always there, but the joy will always be present if we are fulfilling that which we were brought here to do. The person who is bringing about healings merely to see a sick person become well is humanly good, but it must be recognized that such a motive is no part of spiritual living. If we engage in the healing work to see the divine identity, the Christ, brought into manifestation for its sake, then we are finding joy in our work. When that work is engaged in for the sake of witnessing God made manifest, then there is no labor or human effort to it, and no personal will is involved. Good, the outpouring of consciousness. When we withdraw our attention from the outer world and center it on the kingdom of God within, we shall begin to understand what the infinite way of life can really be. It is completely beautiful and satisfying. Ask yourself, am I fulfilling a divine purpose in life? The fulfillment of spiritual selfhood takes place within, not without, although it becomes apparent without. There is no mistaking the man or woman who has found inner joy and satisfaction, who is at peace within himself and the world. Even though such a person might come to a place where some outer circumstance throws him off balance for a time, he quickly recovers from it because he realizes that the outer is not of too much importance. The outer experience is really the fulfillment of an inner experience. Desire fulfilled is, indeed, heaven attained. Truth, being universal, has always existed, and the great saints and seers, the prophets of all ages, have seen this same truth, that the only heaven there is the fulfillment of ourselves, and that finding the place God has ordained for us is heaven brought to earth. Our experience is our own consciousness unfolding. Therefore, all of our attention must be on the unfoldment, revelation, and discovery of the infinite nature of our own consciousness. If we are not doing the kind of work we would like to be doing, we should not attempt to correct it on the outer level. We do not give up our present job to find another one. We do not try to work out our problem on the outer plane of existence. Therefore, wherever we are at the moment, let us learn to disregard the appearance and suffer it to be so now. There is a presence and a power within us, and it will move every obstacle. At this moment, we may not even know what the obstacle is, so our work is to begin right where we are now, with God. I and my Father are one. Therefore, where I am, God is. And from this divine state of consciousness pours forth the harmony of my being. The awareness of this presence and power corrects, removes, and changes the outer picture until the outer becomes an absolute reflection of the inner. The outer experience reflects our inner consciousness when we have learned to turn within and let it come forth. But as long as we are dabbling in the outer picture, endeavoring to correct or to change it, all we can have is a fluctuating human picture. It is only when we begin to let the inner come forth, when we learn to disregard the outer for the moment, that we find the harmony we are seeking. Turn within and ask yourself, what part am I to play in this world? What am I as the fulfillment of God? Each one of us has come to bring fulfillment to his own particular world. I am come that they might have life, and that they might have it more abundantly. as we turn to the divine consciousness, unfolding and disclosing itself, and give up concern for sick bodies or sick affairs, keeping thought on what is unfolding within, we begin to find harmony appearing in the outer world. Our good comes to us as the outpouring of our own consciousness, love fulfilling itself throughout our entire being, God as the reality of all that appears, God as the law of all form. It is our consciousness fulfilling itself, which appears as our experience, and it is not necessary to attempt to mold it with our desires or wishes, but rather take the attitude of watching God unfold. This is the infinite way of life, your life and my life, fulfilling itself without human planning. This is not brought about by doing something in the external world, but by a willingness to be led. Today's Bible passages were John 10:30 and John 10:10. End of today's reading. With wishes for a blessed day.